Hey folks, so in this video we're going to go over some issues that I've seen that are not often talked about but can be somewhat problematic as far as cassettes, or it's an issue if you're downshifting to the smaller cogs in the rear and you get kind of a clacking noise. And it's typically, the basic gist of the video is that sometimes if for whatever reason the your little lock ring there is not cinched down tight enough, there's some movement within the rest of the cassette sprocket. So we'll kind of go over some of the issues with that. And another thing is the spacers sometimes that you'll see on the back sides of the cassettes. If you've got a 10-speed cassette or possibly even an 11-speed cassette, sometimes there can be some confusion on the little spacers, so we'll kind of get into some of that as well. But the basic, just kind of baseline gist of the freehub bodies. This is an 11-speed freehub body here. So distance between the edge shoulder to the end of the freehub body is it's 36.75. Then I've also got a 10-speed freehub body here, which is it's going to be 34.95. So made a little video a little while back showing kind of some hacks you could do to make one work with the other. 11-speed cassettes on a lot of the newer bikes, I kind of ran into this thing the other day, and it was a little puzzling to me until I kind of did a little research on it. But this particular cassette is I believe 1125. I know on a lot of newer bikes, just for example, the 2019 Domani SL6, it uses an 11, I believe it's a 34, maybe a 36 for the big tooth back there, but it's 11-speed setup. But anyway, I was working on one for a guy the other day, and I pulled it off and noticed that there was a little spacer on the back side of it. Your typical spacer that you would see for a 10-speed to 11-speed setup, and I was kind of wondered what the deal was with that. And after doing a little research, I've come to find out, like all the Shimano, the bigger, it's essentially a mountain bike cassette, like their diagnose method, which is basically the overall width of the cassette. This way it's the same as a 10-speed, but it's the bigger, the tallest sprocket there, rather than just increasing the width here. It's so tall, basically your spokes, as they come from here, they're going to angle outward slightly. So basically what they do is just angle that last cog over slightly as well. So you're only using a 10-speed spacing in an 11-speed cassette. So that kind of opens the door a little bit as well for somebody that has maybe a 10-speed wheel, but they're interested in running a bigger 34, 36 or whatever cassette on the rear, something with a bigger range or whatnot. Going to a 1x system, you could actually use either 11-speed freehub body or a 10-speed freehub body. So you've got some options there as well. So this is back to our original bike there that I was working on, had the clacking cassette syndrome there. So this is something I'll usually test on bike repairs. If it's making that noise, I'll just, with the wheel still in the bike frame, I'll check it, kind of do this as I'm doing here, see if there's any movement between the cassette sprockets there. And obviously this one, they're pretty loose, so this one we got the correct spacing and everything. Basically, as you can see, that lock ring's just loose. So needs to be cinched down. Pretty simple fix. As you can see if you look on the lock ring, the torque spec is 40 Newton meters. I think Shimano actually says 30 to 50, which is pretty tight. So I think a lot of times they just folks just don't quite get these tight enough. So it's usually I'll get them to where it just starts to get hard, and then maybe give it a quarter to a half turn from there. But definitely want to snug that thing down to where it doesn't move and is not going to come out of place. Another common issue is if a 10-speed cassette on an 11-speed freehub body, you'll typically use this little spacer. On Shimano cassettes, you'll need the regular one and this thin one as well. That's only for the Shimano 10-speed cassettes, and those tend to get left off pretty frequently if somebody's taking the cassette off and cleaning it. This one's just an example. This was the 10-speed cassette on an 11-speed freehub body, or I basically just left that thing off, and so even with that thing locked down, you're going to get some movement. So you always want to make sure you have the correct spacers for the correct setup. Most 11 speeds will actually list on the freehub body somewhere, but anyway, just make sure you're getting those things tightened down. Also, it's a common, with them loose, if you have an aluminum freehub body, they can really dig in there, so that's typically why that'll happen to those. So anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching.